What is conviction and is its role in breaking the generational cycle of pain with by creating a generational cycle of love? What thoughts are we sowing in our children about their purpose? You see a lot of people earn the successful state that they're in. Basketball players, Olympians, great thought leaders. And many of them said that we become who we think we are. And who plays a role in that, in us becoming? Michelle Obama has her autobiography on that, becoming, her memoir, actually. And it's something I have not read yet. I believe my husband is reading that. But I just want to throw some seeds out, some words of encouragement, some things to think about when we're talking about the generational cycle of pain. No one loves to be in pain, right? We really don't at the root of who we are, but then we believe that pain is our innate thing, that we're just supposed to struggle and be in pain. This is all part of living. And eventually it becomes our identity, whether it's emotional, physical pain, social pain, spiritual pain, not believing in something greater than us and losing our life's meaning and purpose. So, what is conviction? And when you look up the definition of conviction, you get the sense. Okay, so you look it up, and I did spend some time looking up before I actually came on, and it's a firm belief in who you are, and I knew that, and I just want to see how they word it. But what I saw as a child is when I was growing up, and my soil was fertile. I had just left an experience. I was still in the wilderness and trying to find my way back home to my true self. One thing that I discuss in my manuscript, compass, out of the darkness and into the light. Um, but one of the things I found was, I told you about the Bible, and then I found the Lord's Prayer, and then I started somehow looking at the televised description of Jesus and his life. Yeshua, some call him Yeshua, and I was raised that that's what I called him. And I do believe in the heart of hearts that it's not about religion. It's not about what you call this being. Often we get frustrated. We can divide ourselves from each other, but it's not about division. It's about what you believe. Do you believe in good and or evil? Do you believe in good or evil? And so, one of the things that I saw in the portrayal of Jesus is his conviction. And I have mentioned this before about how, people talked about him. You hang around with them and you're supposed to be, the son of God. You dress like that and you're supposed to be the son of God. And you talk to people like this, and just so much about him, that slander and betrayal, you see all of that, but he held to his truth. And that was the first thing I remember. And I remember taking that with me throughout life, including when I experienced bullying, etc. That if you just hold to who you are, that was the major one of the major lessons that I learned from his portrayal. Came at the right time when I really needed that principle the most, when that seed needed to be sown in me. And I've seen a lot of things. I practice as a nurse in the hospital and in different settings, in and out. I have heard people say different things. And not in judgment, but if we truly believe, a lot of people will mention, God, if we truly believe in goodness, we truly believe that our Creator made us in its image, that we know that what he made is good, and that what he made, we have his defining characteristics, and that our Creator makes no mistakes. that we are here for reasons, but often we allow the pain to short sight us, our pain, our unhealed wounds, that we can take our frustrations, we can wear our unhealed wounds like they're in front of us and they're guiding us in all actions we take, and we can kind of unload those on other people, including our children. And as they are looking to us, and even if as a caregiver, as they are looking to us to help give them, share wisdom, share insight, help us to navigate life. What is this life? Wow, why am I here? And then many of us, and I know I've heard people say different things that I'm about to tell you. I wish you were never born. I calling children outside of their name in a derogatory sense, slander, because often that's pain that's talking, that's unhealed wounds. And it's not about making excuses, it's about getting to the root of it, getting to the heart of the matter. Because it's not about changing, when you talk, it's not about changing the individual. It's about helping to increase awareness about what we're doing to impact others' lives. Are we helping? I would tell my children, think about what you say, what you're going to say. Try to think about before you say it. Think about it. And ask yourself, am I helping or am I hurting? So when we take judgment out of it and we take blame and we take our pain out of it, we can get to the root of who we really are, ultimately. And on the flip side of that, if you are having people that are calling you outside of your name, trying to categorize you in whatever box they want to categorize you, out of that pain, it's howling voice. You are this, you are dumb, you're stupid, you don't belong, you are a mistake. And it's not just the words, but it's the actions too, misuse and abuse, hitting, kicking, all of that can weigh heavily on someone's overall state, not just their emotional state, their mental state, but their health state and how they take care of themselves, how they address people's social state, how they see life, as something that, am I just here to suffer? And there are two sides, like I said. One part of it in realizing your wounds, acknowledging them. There's no shame in them, that I hurt. I have unhealed wounds about this, and that. Because through acknowledgement, through acceptance, then we're able to step outside of ourselves and become that observer and watch how we are treating ourselves and how we're treating others, how we're talking to our children, what we're doing to our children. We're keeping them in an unhealthy environment. We know it. They're telling us, what are we doing to help them? What are we doing to show them that your life has meaning and has purpose? When they want to do something, and they want to do art, when they want to do music, and they just, it's part of them. It doesn't mean that they're going to do it for a lifetime, and maybe it does, but it's part of their journey of unfolding these natural gifts, these abilities and talents that they have. And in this rush society, we're so busy that we overlook often our own needs. And when we're overlooking our needs, we're overlooking others' needs. Or sometimes we're so into them that we just take care of them and we forget about ourselves. So there has to be definitely a balance in that. But are we talking to our children about conviction? What is it that you feel that you are here to do? Are we asking them? Are we encouraging them to, if you don't believe in naming this infinite power, this power that keeps the planets aligned, this power that brings night and day, this power that things just grow and we're not doing anything to it, the trees, the plants, the weeds, are we, and how, people have these gifts to build houses. What is this power that is inside of us? Because every life has meaning and purpose. Every life does. And so, how are we encouraging our children to hold this conviction to the truth of who they are? So, sowing those seeds as early as we possibly can, and allowing them this space to figure out what it is that they want to do. And how can we do that? How can we support our children in those type of environments? I think definitely listening to them, listening to what they thought. My our son had made a very profound statement last year, and he said, "If you love somebody, you don't put them in a bad environment." And I said, "Wow," and that really got to my heart. And it was about the school they were going to, the public school system. And I just been thinking, because they had the same, I remember in Oregon, the dismay, the kind of like they weren't here, looking and going to school and just going through the motions because they felt like it was the right thing to do. And even though they didn't care for it, and we start seeing it in their actions. My daughter didn't want to get out of bed, but now I see her smile, the very smile that I had visualized seeing in my daughter before she was even born. I see that smile again. My son is playing guitar. I had written a script. Actually, I'm only one person, about a mother, and how she wanted to be this best mother. She wanted to be this great mother, and she thinks it's through controlling her family instead of allowing them to just be. And how they come together and they accomplish what she wants to accomplish, but go beyond that. And part of that is allowing him to believe in himself and his musical abilities and talents. And I thought about it. I said, "You were that character in my movie." Before he even started playing the electric guitar, I had written this. I had the idea in November of 2020. And I actually finished the script, I think like in 21, 22, something like that. And it's amazing. Sometimes you wonder if you're writing your life, right? For anybody that's a writer out there, if you're writing your life, and it's happened more than one occasion. But what are we doing for our children to have them to ask this great power, what am I here for? Show me. And I love Florence uh, Scovel Shin. She has in there, it says, "Give me a definite lead." That's somebody who I'm reading part of my PMVAR, my prayer, meditation, affirmations, visualizations, and reading time in the morning. And I just love her take on life that she expresses through her book. And she said, ask for a definite lead, show me the way. And many people have fallen into their call. And I was reading about Simone, I believe, Biles, and her bus got deterred, and she ended up at a facility that would literally change her life and make her the great star that she is. And so we do take often detours in our lives, and I believe that in every experience is an opportunity for us to come back to our full selves, our rightful state of mind, our rightful state of being. That because you are alive today, because you have children today that you're caring for, or people that you influence, it is an opportunity for you to heal from the inside out. The love that we see in a child, because they're so close to this creator, right? They haven't had all the stuff that we've experienced, and they're holding on to their joy, their curiosity. And that instead of seeing that as something against us, as feeling bad about ourselves, that why can I be joyful? And if my life didn't turn out this way, I would be joyful like you. And, and it's not, and it's often we don't realize that the words that we speak can not only, it's not only sabotaging ourselves, but it's potentially sabotaging others, that we're continuing the cycle of pain through our pain and seeing the joy that we wish we had. I believe that's one of the things why we project, and some people project our pain on others. And, the whole saying that misery loves company, often we can do it consciously and unconsciously. But the thing is that we have an opportunity to stop, to observe ourselves, to be the observer through the various storms that we've had in life, and the storms that continue to circle around us, and to really say, okay, what do I need to do? And how do I go about healing from the Inside Out, a series that I have on Fridays. How do I go about reassessing my garden, my inner state, and removing these thoughts that have negatively impacted me and are affecting those that I profess that I love. Right? At any time we can change our behaviors when we are alive. We can decide, even if we're on our bed or and about to transition, we can say that. Hopefully, that is not the case. And I know that in every experience, even though how perceived bad that it may be, it's still an opportunity. When I think about Joseph in the Bible and how he voiced the vision that was given to him, and nobody believed him. As a matter of fact, his brothers wanted to get rid of him, and all of these trials and the slander that he went through, and people telling him stuff and not holding up to what they say they're going to do, and just all of that, and how he held to that truth that you are going to use me for greater good, right? And so God, our creator, wants to use you for greater good. He wants you to be reminded of your divine purpose here on life. And he wants you to do the same for the people that he has brought into your life. And it could be even just remembering that's not who I am. That's not who I want to be. That I want to be something different. And that's another actually screenplay that I've written, Fifth Generation. How it took him seeing someone's life turned upside down and realizing that's not the direction that I want to go in. And holding and basically reclaiming his purpose. But we all have an opportunity to do that. We're breathing, we're alive. At any time, we can be humble enough to say, I need help. I need to really get back to my default settings because I have work to do. And not only do I have work to do, part of my work is actually helping you, my child, the person I'm caring for, achieve your work too as well. So, that's the thing about life, is that life will use even the worst scenarios to help increase our conviction to our truth. But it is, I believe, life's desire for you to wake up and to realize who you are. Because it is part of our purpose here, is the evolution of consciousness, the evolving and aligning of our divine spirit with the personality. We have a genetic blueprint, but we also have a spiritual blueprint. And that spiritual blueprint trumps our genetic blueprint. We have to believe that. We have to know that. And not feel like we are victims of our environments, of our situations. But to heal and when you are healing, when you have taken on that conviction that I no longer want to live my life in pain. I want to be a part of this change, a part of this spiritual alignment, evolution. And so we then ask not only ourselves the purpose and ask to heal, but we do the same for our children. And that's how we create a generational love cycle. This is Timika Chambers. We break the cycle of pain by dismantling the thoughts that created it. So we're not focused on the pain. We're looking for those key thoughts, those key behaviors, what those weeds that have caused us to divert from who we really are. So we have what we need to do that resides within us. We don't have to go look at external stuff, external objects, food, too much exercise, we don't have to go and look that way. Drinking, we can look within us and find exactly what we need. We are fearfully and wonderfully made. I did start my newsletter, Notes on Life. I will have the link in this podcast, and I hope that provides some information. What is conviction to you, and what does it mean for you as a parent, as a spiritual guardian, as a caregiver? What does that mean? What have you been saying, and what do you need to say that your children are listening to you? I'll talk to you guys soon. As always, make this lifetime great because you still can.